the 35th Doha, which was titled as You, the Molder. Iron being the same, if cast in a different mold, it can be shaped into an armor, or it could be utilized to wield a sword. What we briefly understood last week. That a human being, time and again we have mentioned this, that a human being's life is not predefined or predestined. Predefined or predestined indicates that one has lost the freedom of choice, or one lives a life of restriction, which is not the case. A human's life is not restricted. We are not enslaved to be something, or something which has been defined or determined by anything external. And if I think that my life is determined or defined and I have no choice on my own, it seems to be a very gloomy picture of life, that I can't do much for my own betterment, that I can't grow or change. I'm at the mercy of external factors. And that's a very pessimistic school of thought. So on the contrary, when you come to understand, and when you come to relate to the idea which the Shastras are saying, that a human being's life is not predestined, is not preordained, is not predefined, you have the freedom, you have the choice of action. So when you believe that you have a certain freedom of what you want to do with your life, where you want to take it forward, you become a master, you become an optimist, you become a philosopher. Now, so when we spoke of this, we said there are two concepts that are connected to the context. One is the concept of Prarabdha, another is the concept of Purushartha. Prarabdha is, whenever we talk of Prarabdha, Prarabdha means destiny, and destiny refers to the moment where you are now. Destiny always refers to the present. I am destined to be what I am today is because of my past actions. Whatever I have done in the past, my past actions have faithfully given a result which I have to accept it. So Prarabdha refers to the present, which is the effect of the past actions. And a Purushartha is the present effort, which will determine the future destiny, which will refer what you would be in the future. So these two concepts, how Prarabdha, which is destiny, and Purushartha, which is effort, we did say that Prarabdha and Purushartha, the meeting point is in the present. So the present is a point where these two meet, as it were. Now, what is very, very satisfying? What is very satisfying is that whatever one has been, whatever one has whatever life one has led thus far does not determine the future course of action. That's a very satisfying, very encouraging to believe that whatever I have done thus far doesn't necessarily mean I would continue to do the same way. So what it means is, in the concept of Prarabdha and Purushartha, the Purushartha seems to have a kind of an independent hand or an upper hand to the Prarabdha. Are you all with me? Prarabdha and Purushartha. Purushartha seems to have an upper hand over Prarabdha. Now, what is Prarabdha? Is the results of my past actions reflecting as fruits in the present. This is Prarabdha, isn't it? If I have lived a life of a materialist, I would be a materialistic person. If I have lived a life of a sensualist, I am a sensualistic person. If I have led a life of a spiritualist, I am a spiritual person. This is a direct reflection of what I've done thus far. But Purushartha is independent and superior to Prarabdha. What does this mean? What this means is the past. Now, this is a quintessential statement I'm making. When I say I am making, the thing is mine in it, but it's something beautiful to understand. The quintessential statement is the past only influences the effect of your present actions. The past only influences the effect or the fruits of your present actions. The past does not affect your efforts in the present. Please try and capture this. The past only influences the effects or the fruits of your present actions. The past does not affect the efforts you put in the present. So what does this mean? The ability in you to put in effort, the ability in you to construct yourself or destroy yourself, that capacity in you is not influenced. So the effort you put in today is not influenced by the past. But whatever fruits you get out of today's efforts are influenced. Now, I'll take a simple example. I'll take a couple of examples to convey. Let's say you have a wall which is painted in yellow. There is a yellow wall. And you intend to change the color of the yellow wall into blue. You want to change the yellow wall into blue. So as you keep applying the first coat, you take the blue paint and you apply the blue. What do you see? You see a green color, isn't it? When you apply blue on yellow, you see green. I want to ask Ashama, in this example of yellow, blue, and green, what is yellow? What is blue? What is green?
Pranam Guruji.
Namaskar.
Yellow is the prarabdha, what your past actions have been. It's already there.
Correct.
And blue is the purushartha. No, I don't know. The green, the blue is the purushartha, today's action, which will reflect what you get in future. Or
Okay.
And in the beginning, it seems not very bright. But then you have to continue to apply more shades of blue. The action the effort has to be greater.
For what?
If you want to change your destiny in future, you have to put in more efforts. If you're not happy with what you've got so far.
If you're not happy with what you got so far, or if you have to change your destiny, which is the yellow, you are wanting to change you're tired of yellow color.
Right.
You want to make it into blue. But the result is green. And as you rightly said, keep applying
more shades. But here I have one question, Guruji, if I may.
Please.
Sometimes, because you are living in society, a human being is essentially a social animal. So sometimes the people around you, they misunderstand you, or they start criticizing you, or whatever. I remember a couple of friends long ago. One had become a very young age. This was about more than 50 years ago, when social restrictions were even greater. One became a widow at a very young age. And it so happened that her friend, or was it acquaintance, she had divorced. So both of them teamed up and they started enjoying life, going to parties, going for movies. So people around them labeled them merry widow and gay divorcee. So sometimes that's what happens. So probably then you get restricted. There's apprehension, how much you can change, or how much effort you can put, or should you put that much effort?
So what is the point here, Ma? I wanted to get to what is the point you are saying, because you rightly clarified the example of the yellow, blue, and green, right? And then you took a reference to a certain episode in life. So what are you trying to say there? That I just missed the point. That's what I'm asking.
Maybe you are where you are because of certain mistakes in the past. Your Maybe in the present, it's not a pleasant, in the present, it's not a pleasant situation you are in. And you want to change, you realize, but then people around you won't allow you to change. What happens then?
Right. No, in fact, it's not necessary the world understands you. It's not necessary that you are accepted for what you're doing. But in as much as, are you convinced in what you believe in? If I had not got that certain belief in me in the journey which I had embarked on, because there were many questions around on the journey when you embark onto a journey like this, what would come in is suspicion and doubt, especially when you're established. It's possible that you would get derailed or you would get dislodged from what
in you.
the people. That's the job of the people. The world around you would accuse you for no reason. They'll also praise you for no reason. So you have to have that capacity to have conviction in your own belief system so that the pursuit can go on. However, you should lend your ears, means you should listen to what others are saying about it, so that you're able to adapt yourself to a change. Because if you're rigid, then you don't grow. But once you believe that what you're doing is right, and if you're true to your conscience, I think if you have the conviction and the conscience supporting it, then you're not wrong to anybody else. I repeat, if you're convinced in a certain path, whatever it could be, and if your conscience supports it, you are not wrong to anybody else, because fundamentally, I am true to myself. So who is anybody else to decide or judge whether I'm doing the right thing? The only thing that decides is my own conscience. And is my conscience supporting something which I believe in is right? And this, if you follow as a yardstick in your life, at any stage of your life, if we had this knowledge, if we had this direction, if all of us had this piece of advice that if you're convinced in something, and if your conscience supports it, you're not wrong to anybody else. Rather than trying to live for the sake of others, we must learn to live for one's own sake. And how do you know you're right? Is ensuring your conscience supports your conviction. Thrash out whatever your conviction is. Am I doing the right thing? What am I doing? On what basis I'm doing it? Those are the arguments you give to yourself. I give to myself the arguments why I choose to do this. Having given that rationale that why I'm doing this, and if I find a certain comfort within me, my conscience make you feel there's no guilt or remorse or discomfort you feel, carry on. The whole world may stand against you, carry on. You are leading a life of Satyam. This is the acid test now. Doesn't matter what the world may say. The best of men were thrown out of societies. The best of men were poisoned and killed. The best of people were not understood. Were they any less? They are not any less. So it's very difficult to understand the other. That's why I didn't want to pass a comment until I understood you where you're coming from. You see, it's very difficult to understand. So why should you be swayed by opinions of others? So the quality which we all should practice is to be self-sufficient. Self-sufficiency, the opposite of that is where the views and opinions of others should not put a question mark into your convictions.
Sometimes it's difficult to ignore them also.
No, I'm not telling you to ignore them, but I'm only telling live life for your sake, not for others' sake. If you have same thing, when you turn the table other side and you have a certain expectations and certain opinions, what is their reciprocation towards that? Are they mindful of your feelings and emotions and sentiments? I'm not saying to be tit for tat attitude. I'm only saying whether they are true to themselves or not is their business. Your question, my point is, am I true to myself in what I'm doing? Let me live life for my sake, not live life for my father's sake, for my sister's sake, for my neighbor's sake, for my spouse's sake, for my student's sake. Am I to do sadhana to inspire you all? Or am I to do sadhana for my own sake? Today you may be inspired with what is going on or what is being taught. Tomorrow you may throw a deaf ear to it. How does it matter if you throw a deaf ear to what I have to say? So many people have come, so many people have gone. Should I doubt because so many of them have gone by? Should I doubt my belief system? Come what may. This is the solace of my life. This will be the solace of my death. I don't know, some great Western thinker said this. Vedanta should be the solace of your life. Vedanta should be the solace of your death. Means come what may, I will live by it. Others may not understand. They don't have the eyes to see. So how can I, in the throughout the Gita also he said, no, yaha pashyati, saha pashyati. He who sees it, sees it. It's so difficult for me to lend my vision of what I see to you. Unless until you have gained that vision, isn't it? You cultivate it, then you are able to see where am I coming from, what am I saying. So it applies to any walk of life. Let people be what they are. Let them live their lives according to their value systems, and I'll have to live by the value systems I believe in. And do not stoop down to any weak pity here. It should not. Emotion should be a strength, not a weakness. Okay. I'll only say be true to yourself and give yourself unto the cause you believe in. Okay, ma? Oh, the famous staff of Moses, we hear the story of Moses. With his conviction, he did miracles, isn't it? Once you take the path of truth with conviction, the story apart, how the journey unfolds is you will get help from mysterious ways and means to mobilize your journey forward. So the seeming obstacles become mere distractions. They are not going to in any way block your journey. Now, when I say this, I'm not someone who is not in the world. I'm very much in the world. I know what is the dynamics of a family, how I know how the dynamics of the society. So we are also subjected to the same drama where I can relate to exactly where you're coming from. There were moments in my life, nobody understood me. I can't get into my personal life. There were moments nobody stood by me. So does that mean you start questioning yourself? No. This is exactly what we are saying. Your capacity to make yourself whatever you want is independent of whatever you have done so far. So the whole world may be against you, but your capacity to change your personality is independent. Even if you're on the wrong, even if I was on the wrong, that does not mean I would remain there. You see, but I am not. I said that go by your conviction and conscience, and you're true to yourself. Even if you're wrong, that doesn't mean you remain there. So, as you rightly said, keep applying blue paint. That's all. All those fellows who are seeing green will keep their mouth shut. Hey, what is this? Is all appearing green. They are seeing from a distance and they say green and they are chattering and they are, the loose tongue. You apply another 2 coats, all of them will keep out. Oh my God, I have been wrong. Keep applying. I'm only giving your advice back to you, Ma. Keep applying the blue paint. The green will disappear. Yellow also will disappear. What will appear is blue. And you, in order to do that, you must believe that what you're doing is right. So you must have the conviction, belief in your own. Believe in your Guru, Ma. That's all I'm saying. Huh? Believe in the knowledge, believe in the satsang, believe in the journey. Everything else you will ride through. Okay. Hari Om. Hari Om, Ma. Sethuji. You look very different, Sethuji. Huh? Moment you went from India to US, you are very different. Yes, sir.
I feel all the people who are present in this platform, they are all spiritual seekers, and what consistently who are coming, they are withdrawing from certain regular activities what they have been involved earlier and then doing. So this already there must be comments from their near and dear that they are not attending certain social functions or this thing. So this will go on. And I have seen any first generation entrepreneurs are never encouraged. The society and the world talks because they all give up stable jobs. They take risk and they start in a very, very small way. And some of them fail and then again succeeds. The society keeps talking, and the same people are called trendsetters later. So all trendsetters are at one time have been ridiculed and made fun of, but this happens, this goes on. So we have to not too much give weightage to others' comments. We believe in our journey and listen to conscience. And this has been umpteen examples are there in all walks of life. Because you have been telling, if you want to become pursue in this spiritual path, we have to we have to withdraw from certain energy dissipating activities. So that groups are definitely going to feel bad and comment on this. And in our back, people may be all sorts of rumors may be spreading, and people may be commenting, but we have to believe in our journey. And, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. I like the idea of what you said. The young entrepreneurs become trendsetters later on, isn't it? And they become examples. It's a very beautiful way of looking at it. So yes, coming back to the thing, Prarabdha. The first example is the yellow paint is the Prarabdha. The effort, Purushartha, is the blue paint, and the green is What is the green paint, Kashish? Sorry. Yeah.
Guruji, it's the fruits of the present, isn't the combination of the results of the past efforts in the present.
Green is the result
in combination with, it's the effect of the past, it manifesting in the present as the fruits, but mixed with the efforts of the future. So it's heading towards the right direction.
No, could you, I know you're surely jotted down that statement I said. What was that statement?
The one just now?
A little earlier, before the example I said. Your past only influences
the past only influences the effects or the fruits of your present actions. The past does not affect your present efforts.
Can you explain this with reference to the example? The green?
So the green would be the past influencing the present fruits, but that doesn't affect the fact that you can keep applying blue paint until it fully turns blue.
Okay. So the past, which is the yellow, does not affect the ability to apply blue.
Yes.
But the past only affects the results of the present effort, which is green. This is the difference you got to draw. The past only influences the ability or the fruits or the effects, but it doesn't affect or influence your capacity to apply blue. So Purushartha is always independent, isn't it? Now, the interesting thing is all of us have a Prarabdha, isn't it? All of us have a past. Let's say, imagine the past is in your favor. You had a blue wall and you want to make the wall blue. What happens? You okay? The wall is blue. You want to paint it blue. What does that mean? Yes, ma.
Namaste, Guruji. It means that you have to continue the same kind of efforts further. I mean, without changing.
So the blue wall you want to paint blue. First of all, the blue wall means what here?
It's the past.
Okay,
Means
the
you
yellow
had a
wall.
blue wall.
Yellow wall also means what?
No, yellow one was the past.
Blue wall also is past. Now, what is the difference between the two?
The colors are different, and but in your case,
correct. There are two different colors. Ma.
no, Guruji, in the example you just told, you said the past was good and it was blue in color, isn't it? Just now.
That's why I'm coming at. So the yellow means what? The blue means what?
The yellow is the past, which you don't like, and you want to change it to blue. You want to better it.
Right.
You want to improve.
So which only means that the past is not in your favor.
Yeah.
Yellow means your past karmas and actions have not been favorable in the present
yeah.
course of direction you want to take. If you want to continue the same thing, there's no problem.
Yes, yes.
Like if you want to paint yellow on yellow, there's no problem. But you want to change it to blue. So the
Yes.
past is not in your favor.
Yes.
But if you already have a blue
favorable past,
a favorable past,
then you continue the same kind of efforts and strengthen the whatever your conviction. Further,
So then, now you're putting the same paint, first coat of paint
Yeah.
on a yellow wall, the same first coat of paint on a blue wall.
the blue will be a little brighter to look fresh.
Within the first coat of paint, the wall looks brighter.
Yes.
The effort is the same. The
Yes.
effect is
Different. Yeah.
Now, this is where we need to bring in an understanding. Perfect, Kushama, perfect. Now, when a person sees a green wall, what happens to him? Ramji, when a person sees a green wall, what happens to him? He's not getting the fruits. He's not getting the desired result. What happens to a person when he doesn't get the desired result? Yes, sir.
So when he doesn't get the results, he feels disappointed or frustrated, and he might, depending upon his inner strength, he might decide to continue to do the blue painting, or if he is not so strong, he might live with the green paint. He might live with the green color, which is a compromise which some people do. But if he is convinced and about what he wants to do, then he will continue to paint blue.
And this possibility happens because everybody is result oriented, isn't it, sir?
Yeah.
Since everybody is driven for results, and when the results don't come, they start doubting their efforts.
Yeah.
So to a person who is seeing green when he's applying blue, you have to go to him and say, believe in your effort. Don't be discouraged by the results. The results are not coming your way is not because of your effort. It's because of your past. Respect that. Understand that.
Yeah.
And it's that moment, the moment where results don't come, if you can continue to put in effort, that's where the real growth is. That's where consistency comes in. Now, you all have been told to put in the effort of reflection, to get up early morning and do swadhyaya. It is like your wall is very dark yellow. Darkest possible yellow is there. And I tell you to paint, I give you a tin of paint of blue and say, paint, convert this wall into blue. It will take 4 coats to nullify the yellow. After 2 coats of paint, you are not motivated to continue the effort. Reflection. As Setuji said, we are all spiritual seekers, and what we are here have to do, put in this effort. And when you do, there is no immediate result, isn't it, sir?
Yeah.
So can you put in the effort without seeing any results is the question. Am I right?
Yes, sir. So that is what happens 90% of the times, and you don't find the results of your efforts immediately, and then that's where people drop off. And that is the biggest threat to any change.
Correct. That is the biggest threat for transformation or change.
Yeah.
So if we can sail through in that phase where you have to strive and not get result, and in that phase you have to believe in the effort. In fact, sir, to go one step ahead, there is only satisfaction in the effort. There is no satisfaction in the fruit. Karmani eva adhikara. The famous verse of the Gita, Karmani eva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. The fruit doesn't belong to you. If you believe in the karma and enjoy the karma and effort, believe me, you will easily sail through the phase where you have to work and don't get result. Isn't it, sir?
Yes.
So the knowledge is so sound and profound to give you that right encouragement, the right time, that yes, you can change your future, you can nullify the past, but you have to go through the phase where results will not come your way. Looks like somebody else has logged in as Wisdom Foundation, because I'm being I get a prompt here that your session is inactive. Are you all able to still hear me?
Yes. But we can
Okay,
also see another Wisdom Foundation.
Correct, sir. So that is good, sir. Wisdom is spreading, sir.
Very good, sir.
No, very good, sir. But I don't know what am I to say now, sir. It says to press OK. I'll press OK, sir. So the moment I
Now
pressed
it's gone.
OK, the wisdom is being perfect. So this is one example, and I'll take the second example which we have taken earlier. Okay, and it speaks volumes of the concept. Just to clarify it further, Harish, if I can get you involved here. Remember the example of the speed of the motor. There is a speed of the boat. And then there is a speed of the river. You recall this example?
Not entirely, Guruji.
Okay, no worries. So there is a speed of the river which is at 5 miles per hour. Okay, the speed of the river
Yes.
is 5 miles per hour downstream, obviously. The speed of the motor is 20 miles per hour. Now the speed of the boat, what would be the speed of the boat upstream? Kashish, Harish is doing, Uncle is doing deep calculations is doing.
Sorry, 4.
Huh?
Sorry, I'm not. I'm sorry, I'm a bit lost. Sorry.
No problem. Now, what have you jotted down? There is
I've
the
got
speed of
the speed of the boat that is upstream. There's a speed of the motor that is at 20 miles.
Just the figures first. The speed
Okay.
of the river is
5
miles per hour. All right.
Yes.
The speed of the motor is 20 miles per
20.
hour. All right.
Yes.
These two have given you figures. Now, when the boat is upstream, which is against the flow of the river, what is the speed of the boat?
Sorry, I have brain freeze, Guruji, with this man. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
I'm with you on that because it happens to all of us at times.
I'm very sorry. I got brain freeze with this.
No, Harish, I'm only complicating it. When the river is downstream and when the boat is trying to go against the flow of the water, all right? So the river has a speed of 5 miles per hour flowing down, and the boat is going against the stream of the river, the flow of water. The 20 is the speed of the motor, which means if the boat were to travel on a sheet of water, on a placid pool of water, what would be the speed of the boat? The speed of the boat is exactly as the speed of the motor, which is 20 miles per hour. But the moment the boat is traveling against the flow of the water, so the speed of the boat would be 20 minus 5, which is 15 miles per hour is the speed of the boat. I put the boat of 20 miles per hour on a lake, stagnant lake. the speed of the boat is exactly the speed of the motor, which is 20 miles per hour.
Yes.
Because there is no resistance, there's no friction. I put it upstream, the speed of the boat is 15 miles per hour. Now the it must have come out of the cold storage now. Now put the boat downstream. What's the speed of the motor?
20.
Ah, correct. The speed of the motor remains 20. Now what's the speed of the boat? Downstream.
20.
Okay, what's the speed of the boat upstream? 20 minus 5. It is?
5. Yes, 15. 15.
What is the speed of the boat downstream?
It will be 20 plus 5 then.
25.
25.
Yes.
25.
The speed of the boat is faster than the speed of the motor. Okay, so there are various
Yes.
possibilities. Now, what is the speed of the river compared to in the philosophy, the comparison? What the speed of the river is?
The speed
Okay.
of the river, Guruji, is the Prarabdha.
Correct. It is your Prarabdha. So is the Prarabdha in your favor or against your favor? In your favor is going downstream.
Yes.
Against your favor is when you're going upstream, isn't it?
Yes.
The Purushartha is the speed of the motor, which is independent. It doesn't matter which way you're going, upstream or downstream, the speed of the motor is independent. And the effects of your effort, either 15 or 25, depends on whether the Prarabdha is in your favor or not. But the speed of the river has no influence on the speed of the motor. That's important. The speed of the motor is your Purushartha. So you have a choice what you want to do with it.
Yes.
Have you got around it, Harish?
Yes, more or less. I will need one more revision to totally understand it, but more or less I've got the gist of it, Guruji.
Right, sir. So if you can't get over it, go back to the example of the paint.
Yes. Yes. No, I mean, I think
Maybe-
this is I understand this more or less as much as a paint. Yes, Guruji.
Harish, you know what you should do is tomorrow morning when you're going to from Discovery Bay to Kowloon, when you go,
Yeah.
I know you take the ferry most of the time. So during the time in the ferry, reflect on this example, what we discussed today.
Yes.
How see that opportunity not all of us have. How many of us take ferry to work every day? Kamalji, do you take a ferry to work? You say, I have long retired, Guruji, you will say. But how long, how often you take a ferry? Huh, Kamalji?
Hariom Guruji, we don't have ferry here in Maryland, where I am.
Yeah, you can be in Maryland also. There's no ferry. So we are not in Maryland.
There are some areas which they have ferries, but where I am located, there is no ferry.
Yes, sir.
But,
so where I am also, there's no ferry, sir. So the chance for Harish to convert this knowledge into wisdom is the best, isn't it, sir?
Yes, Guruji.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Thank you, Guruji.
Now, another example you can always relate to is the headwind and the tailwind in when you fly in an aircraft. This is the language of aeronautics. They say the headwind or the tailwind. The friction of the headwind, the performance drops. But with the tailwind, when the wind is in the favor, the direction of the flight, the performance is much, much faster. Okay. So you can use these three examples to understand the effort. So a man is molded not by situations and circumstances. The man is molded by what you make of those situations and circumstances. It's not because of situations you are molded that way. It's because your inability to deal with them. If you are able to deal with them, you will only sharpen. It's like, don't we say you need a blunt surface to sharpen the knife? You need a rough world to sharpen your personality. So if the world is opposing, thank the Lord that you have got a world that's opposing, because you are going to become stronger end of the day. Okay. So not only here, we're just not talking about merely fighting your prarabdha, but here we are talking about completely nullifying your past and getting to a state of the highest state of realization, which is there is no past at all, completely erased. If you want further clarity, you can go back to the example of the fourth example is bank balance. Setuji, can you give an example of the bank balance? Or let me ask Sushmama.
Yes, Guruji. Pranam, Guruji.
Namaskar, Ma. So the same concept, I'm giving additional example. Some of you may think it may not be required, but it will help you understand. Because every time you're dealing with the bank, perhaps you'll remember, like all of us may not take ferry like Harish, but all of us will go to the bank. So at least then you'll remember little Vedanta. So the bank balance is what
Bank balance is what I have. That means my prarabdha has given me that, I think.
Yes. The bank balance is prarabdha. What is purushartha?
No, what purushartha is, if I work hard and all, I can increase the bank balance. And if I do wrong things and I sort of waste away the money, then naturally the bank balance will go down. So in other words, if we translate into our efforts, I would say, as whatever I've got from my prarabdha, I feel the reason I'm attending these lectures, I'm reading the scriptures, is that I want to improve myself. And as I've learned over the years, and today you've explained it so well, that I can't change the prarabdha that way, whatever I've got, but by self-effort, if I go on putting my effort, I should not resign to it because now I've got this, what can I do? I have to live like that. No, if I feel I keep on putting self-effort and do the right things now, and by reflection, and each time realize if I have a mistake, if I've made a mistake, I must not do it again. Depends how much effort, self-effort I put in. And I'm sure that I can I can't change my past, but I can change my future destiny. Because if I keep on doing good things, automatically, whether I think of the fruits or not, they are bound to be good fruits if I keep on doing good things. At least I believe in that.
Yep.
And I think with our self-effort, if we keep on, I already believe in this because over the years I've been reading the scriptures and listening to satsangs and things like that. So my belief is very strong now. And I think if we still continue, as I come for satsangs, to even strengthen the belief I already have, and I continue to put in more and more self-effort, because I'm wanting, as you say, actually we're wanting self-realization, but that is very far away. But then relatively, if I feel I can do good actions, maybe from selfish, I have become sort of, I feel unselfish. And if I continue, maybe someday I'll reach the selfless. I believe in all that. Whether it'll happen in 10 more lives or whatever, I don't know. But my belief is very strong in Prarabdha. Not in Prarabdha, in Purushartha.
No,
In
you're right.
Purushartha, I believe
You have actually said correct that the Prarabdha also is very much in your favor, and Purushartha also is in your favor. So
no, Prarabdha is, I'm not, that by mistake I said that.
No, you
But
said
I feel
correctly. It's like having a,
very
it's
much
like having,
believe.
it's like having a thick bank balance. I'm just going by an example. The bank balance is healthy, and whatever effort I put in, whatever little I keep putting into the account, it only swells, isn't it? So the
Guruji,
Prarabdha is in your favor.
Guruji, I feel the Prarabdha also, as in a way, it is in my favor because the type of family I was born in, I had a very good atmosphere. Like my parents and my father used to always, even at the age of 8 and 10, he used to recite shlokas which have helped like that. Maybe I've talked about it, that Pibanti Nadiyan Swayameva Nambat. The rivers don't drink their own water, the trees don't eat their own fruits, etc. And the greatest divine quality is paropkar. And I think I heard this when I was 8, 9 years old, but somehow that has stuck in my mind over the years. So I think the Prarabdha has been sort of in my favor because the environment I was brought in already laid a little foundation to lead me towards better Purushartha rather than go down. So I have not had to really fight, a Prarabdha which was unpleasant or difficult for me. And I'm grateful to the Lord for that. And now I've got, in future, I've got people like you who are helping me to go further.
See, that's why I'm saying your Prarabdha is very strong, ma. We want to steal a little bit of your Prarabdha from you. Stay blessed, ma. Stay blessed. Wonderful. Yes. Ashama, you are clarifying something. The speed of the river does influence the speed of the motor by resisting the speed of the motor by causing friction. But it doesn't influence the capacity of the motor to operate to its optimum, isn't it? Joby 20, if it's the capacity of the engine has the capacity to drive the boat forward. That is the horsepower, as we say. The horsepower doesn't become any less. It will not be able to operate at 20 or 30 or beyond 20. It can't operate 30 because the horsepower is limited. So the engine is being pushed to the maximum capacity when it has the friction. So when you put in Purushartha, your capacity to not be affected by the world around you is being put to test. You're being put to test.
As Sushmaji said, we have to continue to put in our efforts 100%.
Yes. Just keep putting the effort,
Irrespective of.
irrespective of it. Yes, irrespective of what happens, keep putting the effort. Right. Ushama, you had commented something earlier, something you said, is it selfish, not selfishness? I think you had commented to when Ashama was speaking earlier. What was that?
Like earlier you said, Guruji, that you continue to work for, not work for yourself, but not to bother about others, about your father, mother, or anybody else, but you continue to follow your convictions. But is it not required to take their, I mean, their well-being or their willingness for what you do? I mean, keep them also into consideration. Take them also into your consideration.
Ma, it is a spiritual journey, the individualistic journey, isn't it?
True.
So tomorrow Vijay comes and says, I don't want you to pursue your path. Why don't you do something else? I would say, thank you for your advice, but I would continue to do what I believe in, because this is my dharma. This is my swadharma. This is my nature. How can I not be what I am? Is it easier to be true to yourself, or is it easier to satisfy others?
But I'm just trying to understand the concept. Suppose Vijayama, I mean, if you had told her, if she is convinced before entering into your life that she would be agreeable to you, that is fine. But in case of parents and all, they were first and we were the next. So suppose they don't approve of what we are doing or something, is it not a son's or daughter's responsibility to try to, no?
Not at all. How does it matter whether they have, obviously they have been responsible, but paramount is, are you true to yourself? I've had experiences of a colleague of mine who was so attached to his parents. I'm talking close to 30 years ago, this happened. His father, mother did not want him to pursue. In fact, he was working in UK. He left his job and he came and joined the ashram. And then his parents were not well. So he took some time off from the ashram and he came, visited Hyderabad. And he attended to them and got the test done, and nothing concerning. They were put to given comfort and medication, and they should be fine. But then the mother started emotionally blackmailing the son. You're the only son. What will we do without you? Stay back. Don't go back to the ashram. Don't pursue your sadhana. And then he called Swamiji and said, Swamiji, I don't think I can come back because my parents need me. I said, that's your choice. And that was the end of his sadhana. So, not being specific to parents or spouse or anybody for that matter, but if your conviction is being questioned or challenged, would you hold on to your conviction or just compromise it to cater to others?
It depends on your mental strength, Guruji.
It depends how strong you are. I was also put to test. Remember, I shared that experience with you all. There was a time when within the first 3 years of the ashram, you're not supposed to leave the ashram. But I had come to Hyderabad during lecture tour of Swami. So I came along with him on the condition that I returned with him. And I had some minor medical checkup, and my father insisted that I come to the same doctor who had been advising. Swami said, okay, if you're so keen, no problem, come along and you come back with me. But the day, the next evening, I think he was leaving, the day evening prior to it, my grandmother had passed away. And I was very attached to her. And that evening, when she passed away, in fact, I was along with my mother and aunt. We were actually going to the hospital to see them. And I had told Swamiji that my grandmother had passed away. If I can attend the funeral, which was scheduled for sometime next day, I said, can I attend the funeral and stay back for a day or so and come sooner or later thereafter? When I called him, the only thing he said is, if I, and we were taking a train that evening, and he said, if I don't see you in the train along with me, you don't have to come back. Your luggage will be sent back to you, he said. And I remember it just dawned on me. I got off the auto rickshaw at the Patni bus stop, the traffic light, in fact, got down there and walked back. In fact, it was that evening, not the next day, that evening. And I called him. It was not next day, that evening Swamiji was leaving. And my bags were all packed, and I took the decision to go to the thing, and something told me, no, I will go back. So if I had not boarded the train, I would not be sitting here today talking to you. And everybody said, what is this? How can Swamiji say that? Why can't he have given you grace one day? You said you're coming back. Well, I was just 17. I was just full of tears, not understanding, but something told me I need to go back. So, whom all will you cater? You know, when Yudhishthira was walking up to the heavens along with his siblings, his brothers and his wife, you know the story. There was another dog also that followed with him. And when he reached the gate of the heavens, when he looked back, there was only the dog. Apparently, as they were marching along one by one, everybody fell off. But Yudhishthira didn't stop. He kept marching. That's the reason, whenever olden days, temples were always built up the mountains on the hills, isn't it?
Yes.
And the only path to the mountain was a single file.
Yes.
The walk path was not.
In a group, you cannot go.
No group also. You can't do honeymoon walking to the spiritual. You can't do that. You can't hold your spouse hand in hand or your girlfriend hand in hand and walk up to the thing. You will have to walk one behind the other. It's a single file. What does it denote? Spiritual journey is individualistic. You cannot take anyone along with you. You can inspire them and they follow your footsteps, but you can't take them along with you.
Yeah.
So it is an individualistic path, to an individualistic journey. If you are able to convince their understanding, please do. If you can't, let them live their lives to their understanding. You move on. And there is no disrespect or no hurting of their emotions. You must have the conviction and the fire of the ideal, we say. The fire must be there, And once the fire is there within you, that will draw you and drive you forward. Don't allow emotional drama to dampen your spirits. You must rise above these emotions. Okay, ma? And it is not selfishness.
Okay.
It is not being selfish at all. Okay. Yes, Harish?
Guruji,
Yeah.
this observation comes from the world that, yes, you're very rightfully saying that we should be true to ourselves. And I've also noticed in life that most people, they never come and ask you, what do you want? What will make you happy? What can we do to support you? The world doesn't offer this to the person. They only see what they like or don't like in you, and they make their comments and judgments. And it's just human nature. I've realized at this point that nobody will ask you, what would you like? What can we do for you to achieve your happiness? almost nobody does that, says that. So you're very rightfully saying that we have to be true to ourselves irrespective of what the world says or thinks.
A small correction, Harish, but I think you often said that to me, no?
What's that?
You always said, Guruji, what is it that you like and what is it that can make you feel happy? Have you not said that? You have
Yes.
all the time you say that. So how can you say the world is not like that?
Generally speaking, in my experience, in the world that I'm in.
No, you're very right, very right. So the world is very selfish. So, but I'm not suggesting, or the text is not suggesting you to be selfish. Being
No,
true to your
absolutely not.
conscience is not living up to your conviction.
Yes,
And conscience is not being selfish,
correct.
isn't it? Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Guruji.
Right. Thank you. So I think the satsang today will. What would be the takeaways? I'll ask Ramji and Setuji. Ramji, to begin with, what are the takeaways, sir?
Sir, so I think the takeaway is what you started with. Life is not preordained. It is in your hands to do what you like to do in life. So I think you have further expanded it by explaining what is Prarabdha, which is today's present moment, which is a result of your past actions. And what is Purushartha, which is the present effort, which will define the future. So Purushartha is independent of Prarabdha, and the past only influences the effect or the fruits of your present actions, but it does not affect your present efforts. So I think the essence is that you must have strong conviction in what you want to do from now onwards. And if that is different from your Prarabdha, you might face resistance, but you will still succeed in your efforts if you are strong-willed about it. And so you can still do things in life, and it's never too late for you to go on the right path. So it needs that level of commitment and sadhana, which will actually give you the results. This is what I have picked up.
Perfect, sir. Wonderful, wonderful. So I think your conclusion would answer what Soumyama had asked. I didn't see that. She asked, if the Purushartha is very strong, can we overrule the Prarabdha? Absolutely, isn't it? That's what we're saying. In fact, Purushartha can completely overrule and change the Prarabdha destiny. Isn't it, sir?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Okay, ma. Setuji, wonderful, Ramji. Any closing comments or takeaways?
No, sir. I think it's. You are asking Setuji. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Om Guruji, whatever our past is and whatever we are today, irrespective of it, we can create our own future the way we want. Only thing is we should hold the paintbrush ourselves and paint the way we want.
Don't give the paintbrush to others.
Because most of the time people I have seen for minor decisions in life they want to take, just ordering in a restaurant, but major decision they leave it to others. That they take by consensus. But we should hold the paintbrush and we should do it. And Guruji, as far as this paint example, what I have seen painters is, in case already the wall is dark paint, the procedure is first apply a primer, white, make it white. Then it looks like you are coming back to zero. But then it becomes easier for us to paint change it to the other color. If it is a lighter color, we can go with, as you said, yellow, you can go with blue. But if it is already brown, Brown also can be changed to blue or any color you want. Very dark, intense dark can be changed by coating a primer.
Sir, now you are changing the example and the whole philosophy by introducing primer here. Now Harish will be thinking, what is this primer in the now please clarify, Harish, what is a primer in this quote, in this example? Harish, I'm sure same dot is in your mind as well, isn't it? So what is the primer here?
It is equivalent, to my understanding, Guruji, it's equivalent to the green. When you give the example of yellow, blue, and green.
No, the primer is still the effort, which is Purushartha. You know, the blue paint or the primer is still the effort, you know, to ensure that you can quickly nullify the past to that extent, so that the result becomes, the Prarabdha becomes neutral, which is zero, which is a white wall, you know. So a primer helps. So that can only help the efforts.
Okay.
Smart effort, quicken the process. My God, I can see the wisdom from Gayatri Ma gushing forth. She's saying the primer is the knowledge. My God. And the wisdom is? Huh?
White wall.
I didn't get you. Sorry, Ma?
White color wall which comes is the wisdom.
Oh, primer is the knowledge. White wall is the wisdom. Before there's any further confusion, I'll conclude the class. So may wisdom prevail. That's all I'll say. Okay. Hari Om. We'll come back. Thank you. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.